Introduce disturbing truths of family channel from Jaubrey. This is
Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch, because then
she put this out there. She put this out there. She put this out there. Like, she published this.
actually
It's wild
doing
that, like,
harm.
wild that it took, like, genuine, visible, physical abuse signs from a child who basically escaped jail-like conditions for the law enforcement authorities to be like, yeah, this is, you know, we should touch on this. The disturbing truth of family channels, the 8-passenger saga. Yeah, Jaubrey covered this in 2020, specifically this family. Here, let's take a look at what's going on here. This is the family, right? Let's watch this. I've been meaning to watch this. Jaubrey, in my head, this investigation for the record.
he didn't think he was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
Jaubrey literally did this, dude. Jaubrey and Swoop. Okay, the one criticism that I have for Jaubrey is that, like, I know he scores his own videos. It's like, it doesn't have to go so hard. You know what I mean? I don't want to be finding myself bopping along when you're, like, covering mass child abuse. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, that shit goes hard. It goes too hard, Jaubrey. Why does it go so hard, man? You can't be doing banger-ass intros when you're like, here's some fucking information about child abuse, dude. I don't want to be fucking bobbing my head along thinking about child abuse. What the fuck? Anyway, let's continue. Going hard, dude. All right.
Do you know what time it is?
YouTube is the #1 most visited website on the internet, making it one of the easiest and most accessible avenues for anyone looking to monetize their art. For some, that art comes in the form of animations, while for others, it could be something along the lines of
people want to watch YouTube for more visual representation, I guess.
Movie or music reviews, with some genres being more demanding than others.
Vlogging,
for example, involves sacrificing your privacy in exchange for a certain level of authenticity. Documenting both the highs and the lows of your day-to-day life can lend itself to a more genuine experience from the viewer's perspective, regardless of how exaggerated certain events may be. To me, the typical vlog is just content for people to live through, but it's this personal connection mixed with a stream of highly edited and entertaining videos that makes for a winning combination on YouTube, with many of these channels racking up an unprecedented amount of dedicated viewers regularly. But what happens when you bring children into the mix? And at what point does this steady stream of family-friendly content suddenly drift into exploitation? How much can truly go wrong when every minute detail of your life is presented to an audience of millions? I'd say this is a pretty important question, at least in the case of a woman named Ruby Frank.
Whenever we start sharing the details of how we actually parent, we get a lot of upset.
Ruby and Kevin Frank are the owners of a popular family vlog channel known as 8 Passengers, where they upload around 3 videos a week documenting their lives for a dedicated fan base of...
Oh, dude, that's the typical white guy with that haircut. Uh-oh. I've told you this before. For white dudes, it's like, if you go bald like that, it could be... It's real hard. You got to dress it up a little bit so you don't fucking look like you're, you know, a white supremacist. Did I have to say it? Yes, I guess.
For 2 million people, garnering well over 1 billion total views since their launch in 2015. With her husband preoccupied as an assistant professor at BYU, Ruby ultimately runs the show, along with her 4 sisters who also maintain channels of their own, all falling under the same common theme of family vlogging.
If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off. I want to tell you something, and I want you to really listen. We should have been in that car.
Okay, this is mess up. What the
hell? You can take them down to the hamper and drop and give me 10. 1. Put your hands straight out. They're not supposed to be out. Shape your hands forward. There you go. 1, 2, down further. Bring your butt down.
Through her years of lifestyle mommy vlog entertainment, Ruby has accumulated a net of almost 500,000 Instagram followers and a rough estimate of $2.5 million. Though it's hard to imagine Ruby's enormous success without the help of her 6 children, all of which I will be censoring for the sake of respecting their own privacy. With 2 boys and 4 girls, the ages of these children range from 17 all the way down to 6 years old. In fact, the very first video on the 8 Passengers channel was the gender reveal of that very 6-year-old.
Wait, so what happened to this channel? It got deleted or something? Ideally restricting the gender base.
Fast-paced YouTube vlogger lifestyle is all this 6-year-old girl knows. Her life has been subjected to the...
Dude, that shit sucks so bad, dude. Like, you're just born into the fucking wrong family and you just get straight up abused non-fucking stop from day one with cameras documenting
exploit that.
It's so fucking awful.
Cruel lens of a video camera since she was literally in the womb. But hey, I'm sure that'll have no greater impact on her development whatsoever. I mean, how would you feel if the most critical years of your growth had been exploited for the sole purpose of granting...
Like, to be fair though, I mean, this family probably was going to be abusive anyway. It's like, at least they're fucking filming it, you know what I mean? And therefore, in this situation, like, justice was served, you know what I mean? At least because it's on camera. In a weird way, it's like an audience.
Yeah, that's nice, I guess.
Even though Because think about it this way: how many fucking Mormon families don't document it for YouTube and get away with it? Like someone who subscribed to the top of the hour gets away with not seeing ads. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. I watched were incredibly hard to watch because they would brutally scream at their children and say it's a prank unironically. Yeah.
Your parents' monetary success and online prevalence. In terms of the 8 Passengers channel, the controversy surrounding this lovely couple runs a little deeper than what you may see on the surface. At first glance, they may seem like your typical run-of-the-mill family, simply trying to share their joyous journey with the rest of the world, plus a few overly clickbaity thumbnails. But from what I and many others have observed as of late, there seems to be something far more sinister happening here.
I actually was thinking about you, Julie. Can I have a conversation with you?
Not talk, not right here. No.
No. Okay, so here's kind of
I mean, you can agree or disagree with the way a parent goes about discussing puberty with their kids. I mean, I just learned everything through the internet, which definitely didn't stunt my development at all. But I think most people would agree that filming such an awkward moment and uploading it to a family-friendly channel seemingly against your own child's will is a little unnecessary.
Staying on YouTube is probably not a bad idea.
So I just want...
You just got rejected.
Of course there's no way they cannot not film it. If they did not film it, how are they supposed to make money and pay for your schooling, kids? Kids nowadays have it way too easy. Back in her day, they actually had this outdated thing called privacy.
I mean, right in the same video, these kids are pleading with Ruby not to have this talk on camera. Forget the conversation itself. The fact that it's having to be broadcast to countless strangers on the internet is embarrassing enough in itself. Imagine having to show your face at school, knowing there are kids in your class who have seen you have such a personal talk with your parents. Any kid that age would be humiliated. What about the time Ruby uploaded her 11-year-old daughter's first shave, or her other daughter's first shave, or her son's first shave?
Julie has been asking all summer if she can shave her legs.
And that is weird.
A story where they're in a rush, it will cut. So there's a lot of hair in there.
There's like a weird aspect of pedophilia on this too. I feel like because then they make like channels for the children, right? And then the children have a fuck ton of followers, and you're like, a lot of those followers are not children. Okay, those are whole ass adults following those young ass girls. You know what I mean? It's like a very strange and awful thing. Who is this if not for pedos? I'm sure there's plenty of like Mormon families or whatever that want like a good wholesome Christian to teach them about how to properly do child abuse and mask it as like proper guidelines. And then there's like another group of people. Sometimes it's a Venn diagram that has both.
Collapse.
In other instances, it's like it's a bit column A, bit column B. Sometimes A and B together. You know what I mean?
They're actually.
It's just very bizarre to me. Quite frankly, it's these types of videos that attract not only children, but pedophiles. Creepy old men have a history of putting timestamps in the comments where kids are in compromising positions, and to me, such blatant clickbait doesn't exactly dissuade that kind of attention. I remember feeling weird enough already during puberty, but the thought of my parents getting out a video camera and detailing every single event that happened during that uncomfortable phase makes me want to gag.
Maybe a medium would be right. Do you want to take those and try?
What about me? What?
No, not. You don't have to try them on here. You can find a dressing room.
Mom.
She's all embarrassed.
So, did it work? How come you're all embarrassed?
Because you're filming her and you're her dad.
There's not
I'll admit, some of their videos are a little more tame than others, but when it comes to titles that involve
Actually,
puberty,
laughing.
periods, it just comes off to me as a projection of your child's own insecurities to a much wider range of people for the aim of making money. And I think it's pretty hard to go about doing that in a tasteful manner.
I've had to get after her a few times to wash her face and to remind her to take a bath or a shower. I'm going to give her this. It's a little gold ring. It's kind of like the one Julie got for her birthday. And I'm just going to tell her that when she wears it, to remember that her body is a blessing and it's a good thing and everything that's happening to her is good, and remember to take care of it.
I just keep going back to the thought of having their friends at school being able to access all of this. And when I say friends, I mean it pretty loosely, since it would seem they don't have any, according to them.
And no, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally like told my friends I'm not hanging out with them.
Like, I don't even know where they live.
These kids have been pretty open with their mom about their lack of friends at school, which would honestly be crushing to any mother with a heart. But in the case of Ruby, it would seem that despite her apparently strict militaristic household, it's not hard to see where her priorities lie.
She doesn't care.
Smartphone, any kind of phone, and it's been over years. And I still have no intention of returning a phone. Abby, we took the phone away from Abby.
Yo, what the fuck? I mean, yeah, no shit, they don't have friends, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, it's not. This is like the least shocking development. Yeah, if you're a fucking teenager and you don't have a phone and your mom is running the ship like a goddamn animal, okay? You're just, your development is stunted. You're not gonna talk to
I think it's a little bit to the video about the family YouTube channel.
And you made
Royalty family or something.
if I was to go back and redo anything in parenting, it would be not to give
He don't have a point of
basically no technology over the summer.
Wait, I get it. You shoehorn enough of your miserable life into the spotlight that it's only natural for the more negative sides to show themselves. But openly denying your child the most basic necessity is a little bit more
Eldest daughter started documenting in a Google Doc everything she could remember with archive videos.
than 30 seconds out of a 20-minute video, as described by the eldest passenger on Instagram.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? On it, and just said Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch.
Like, I'm sorry, but what did you really expect from a 5-year-old girl? My mom is a kindergarten teacher, and I know for a fact those snot-nosed cretins cannot be expected to tie their own shoes, let alone remember to prepare an entire meal for themselves.
Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch, because then
Oh, she put this out there. Brother, she put this out there. She put this out there. Like, she published this. If anything, it's wild that it took, like, genuine, visible, physical abuse signs from a child who basically fucking escaped jail-like conditions for the law enforcement authorities to be like, yeah, this is, we should touch on this. And it's kind of crazy because like this happens all the time. We've watched many stories identical to this that don't document obviously this kind of child abuse. And then like when CPS shows up on their door, they have very limited options. And obviously like that structure in and of itself is not great either. Because then you're put in a fucking foster care, which also sucks. And then foster care can also be really damaging for the child. You know, those turn to murder cases too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the family with like a bunch of adopted black, like the lesbian couple with a bunch of like adopted black children come to mind. You guys remember? What was it? They were like Bernard sisters, I guess.
What?
They were basically using their children as props, and also routinely engaged in
What kind of
trouble. They showed
story?
up and they can basically lie in that situation. Yeah, the Hart family, and then they drove them off of a cliff and killed everybody. Oh yeah, Atlanta did an episode as well.
She's not going to learn from the natural outcome.
What, you just trust that if your kid feels hungry enough by the end of the day, she'll learn how to pack her own food more diligently next time?
You've got a little treat there, some Nutella sticks. Why did she take the sandwich out and put it in a container? Oh.
Yeah, maybe because she's 5. She doesn't know what to pick out because she's a child. If I had to pack my own lunch at that age, I'd be eating nothing but goldfish and gushers 5 days out of the week.
My hope is that she'll be hungry and come home and go, oh man, that was really painful being hungry all day. I will make sure to always have a lunch with me.
I know I'm not exactly experienced in this field, but I can never see myself doing that kind of thing.
It's nuts, dude. She's 5 years old, lady. The fuck were you
Yeah,
doing?
it's all
You know what I mean?
bad.
She's literally unironically doing that meme. Unironically doing that meme that I got where it's like dumbass baby doesn't know how to make a
And
sandwich.
here is like
That I engage in every now and then, like she's doing that. But
model
seriously, she's
to
like, wow,
못하든
my
I
dumbass
can
child doesn't
understand.
know how to make a fucking sandwich at the age of 5.
As a parent, the definition of neglect in most states is the failure of a parent or caregiver to provide needed food, shelter, clothing, medical care, or supervision to the degree that a child's health, safety, and well-being are threatened with harm. The first part of that definition should ring a couple bells.
My job as a parent is to provide for the needs of my kids, the needs that they cannot meet themselves. You know, providing food, providing a safe place. Kids have a really hard time providing their own safe space. That is my responsibility. They're gonna think you're torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Never mind the fact that her youngest daughter somehow slipped away and fell down a gutter or something. I don't know. I could barely find any information about this.
One of the reasons I... Oh, no! What are you doing? You are so crazy, girl!
Can you get it up here?
Oh, still filming. Nice.
You did that all by... Oh my...
Also, the same kid that, like, broke a door. How do you let this happen, first of all?
The boat. Can I have that?
What happened?
About that. The shark coming.
What happened?
Actual scripted.
Let's stand on that. Let's stand on this.
The sharks. The sharks. The sharks.
You pretending you're in the ocean, and so you broke my door?
Just think, if this is the type of thing unfolding on camera, it almost makes me wonder what all is happening off camera.
Worry if Dad and I are going to get divorced? You do? I did not know you worried about that. How often do you worry about that?
Oh, why are you filming this, dog? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you filming this? Why is this being filmed? Weird as fuck.
Probably when I go to sleep.
When you're at the most tired, and then your mind starts going to extreme cases. Oh, would you hear Dad and I yell and fight a lot? You're supposed to say no. You're not supposed to say yes. And there was a time, I'll find a photo. I had just had Russell, and Julie was just crying a lot and whining. And one day I looked at her and I'm like, you just stink. She had like peed her pants or something. And it's just because she was being neglected, because I was totally paying attention to the new baby. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get somebody to help me with the little ones. I'm gonna pay attention to you. And so I bought her a new little dress at Walmart. It was like one of those dresses you see for like $4.89 or whatever, a really cheap dress. It was just darling, cute as can be. And I gave her a bath and I brushed her hair, fixed it cute, and she was good. She was better.
Between policing her children's social media, suppressing their access to technology, and failing to provide food, it would seem Ruby's parenting methods are a bit unorthodox. You could say the ethical side of Ruby and Kevin were especially brought to the forefront when their eldest son, 14 at the time, had been shipped off to a wilderness camp in the middle of the desert, leaving many wondering what he could have done to warrant such a harsh and otherwise life-altering punishment.
Oh, that is also...
대자
That also is a classic, fucking classic
이도
wilderness
렌즈
shit that Mormons love doing. They love doing that.
딱딱해.
What's been going on a little bit with chat and why Ruby and I are in a hotel room right now.
But first, we have a sponsor. Did you know that J and Jaubrey actually stands for Ray J? If you ask me, his company...
Okay, this is such an old ad from Jaubrey that we're skipping it because like there's no way that link is still active.
On August 9th of 2019, Ruby
You
and
mean
her
like you
wonderful...
did? Yeah, no, what I did was nowhere near as bad. It was under the same. Didn't that happen to you? Yes. I was sent to a wilderness camp too, but it was like, oh shit, the doors knocked at. It's probably my fucking mom. But it was not. It was on
Wait,
accident.
what did you
Like, it
say?
wasn't, like, they didn't know it was like that. Hold on.
husband Kevin emotionally relayed some pretty unfortunate news to their audience.
The guy says, oh, you don't need to bring anything except 36 pair of underwear. When Chad heard it, he's like, I really am going to go live in the desert in my underwear.
Is the music necessary? Is it really necessary? I don't think it's necessary.
Chad today has just
Just like your intro.
wilderness therapy program where he's going to spend the next 8 to 10 weeks living in the
Anasazi Desert.
the desert mountains of Arizona.
It became evident that some unspecified behavioral episodes had led the couple to their final decision of sending their 14-year-old son to live in the desert to be fixed, I guess, where he would be stripped of all his basic commodities and forced to adopt a new minimalist, rugged way of living. The mindset here, of course, being that this change of pace would give him a new appreciation for the luxuries he has at home, assisting him along his spiritual journey with God.
So the idea is with wilderness therapy is if you can survive with these peers in the wilderness with nothing more than the clothes on your back and a couple of field supplies, then there's nothing in this world that you
What
can't
is this
And he said,
mindset?
it's like the real wilderness out there. There's snakes, there's bears, there's coyotes, cougars. Like it's the real deal.
We want Chad to have some of those experiences.
I think close
Oh,
encounters
very
would be
motivating.
Yeah, because those types.
So this is a very common. Brace Belden also went on these as well. I think he's like also documented his experiences in one of these camps for like being a. I mean, they do a lot of like this is basically child abuse masked as wilderness therapy. The one I went to wasn't like this. Obviously, the one I went to was like pretty fucked up, but it wasn't literally like the one I went to was voluntary. It wasn't like the type of camp where they just like basically kidnap
Voluntary.
and then
Oh,
drop you
you
into
see?
this like insane situation. It wasn't like Synanon or anything. Mine was LNT. Oh, you're not. No, LNT means leave no trace. I forget. It's like Eagle Landing or something, which is a little bit different. Yeah, mine was Outward Bound. It wasn't Synanon, and this is like Outward Bound as well, I think.
Those experiences can teach you what's really important.
And he'll come home and he'll be like, dude, I survived and there were bears. I can do anything. I'm not scared at all about that kind of stuff. What I lose sleep over is when kids start self-sabotaging their own efforts.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that really concerns me.
Just to stick it to their teachers or to stick it to their
Up
parents.
here.
And the only person they're really hurting is themselves.
Shut the fuck up. The Hasanabi Foundation describes itself as a troubled teens wilderness organization, specializing in restoring and strengthening parent-child relationships. Oh, and they're nonprofit, so they don't pay taxes either. Although they claim to be against behavioral modification on their website, I did find a Glassdoor review from a former staff member who insisted Hasanabi was more geared towards troubled teens by Mormon.
There's a Mormon organization which I was not told being hired. They say they're non-denominational. Dude, Mormons do this shit all the time. Remember that anti-porn, anti-sex work chatter that came in here and was like, see, I'm not anti-sex work. And look at this non-denominational website that has documented all the different kinds of like sex crimes that actually happen in reality during like ethical sex work that you claim. And then we looked at it and immediately found out that it was a fucking Mormon organization that disguised themselves as a non-denominational organization. Because like everybody knows, everybody knows if you just come out of the gates as like a Christian organization or a Mormon organization,
I guess this is one chat,
like, how they're more
so
cunning in the way that they try to mask that messed up
Standards. The anonymous trail worker went on to describe the heavily dense Mormon staff as having minimal prior experience with kids, let alone troubled ones, vaguely alluding to the way certain campers were treated compared to others. I understand it's hard to gauge the legitimacy of an anonymous review, but the so-called therapeutic tab on their website hardly provides any insight to the specifics of their approach. It seems to throw out a bunch of vague and definite terminology that applies to a generally holistic set of principles. And although I don't know the specific issues their son is seemingly dealing with, it just feels counterproductive to ship any child away to a camp so loose in its approach to treatment. Like, what even are the essentials of a healthy lifestyle? And how does teaching these basic things help somebody struggling with substance abuse? It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. It's not exactly the type of information to give me peace of mind.
This is a chance for like a reset, like a start over, like a do-over, like a fresh beginning.
Yeah. So
Look, I can't really tell any parent how to raise their
No, you can't send your children to therapy because then they might become woke and gay. What you're supposed to do is send them to Mormon therapy, which is also bad.
okay then.
Because like a lot of these churches in these communities also have their own special therapists as well. And you don't want that shit either. Because like a lot of these like churches
Special.
send you directly to a church-approved affiliated therapist. And those people are not great either, okay?
kids. I don't have the expertise, so I'm not exactly in the know when it comes to the way their children behave, or at least I don't pretend to know as much as they do. But there is nothing, and I mean nothing, my kid could ever do that would make me think, you know what would really help? Forcing them to sleep on the ground in the middle of the desert. Call me crazy, but that very concept sounds like it could worsen whatever it is they're already going through. Like, I'm sorry, Ruby, but in what universe would it be beneficial to pluck a troubled individual out of their element, in this case seemingly against their own will, and throw them into an entirely new environment where they're forced to hold their own against new circumstances they've never been exposed to? I wouldn't know how to react. I'd feel betrayed. To me, it sends a message of, we don't want you here, which can only work to damage the trust necessary between a child and their parents. I'm not saying every experience with these camps has to be negative, but the dangerous potential of these decisions should not be overlooked either.
And if you're from a family, and I know you are, you know that there are things that happen in your family that other people don't know about. And it's the same with our family. There are things that happen in our family you don't
yeah,
know
we don't
about.
film, we don't share. So
just trust us that we're doing what
Bro, it's like, yeah.
Just
extra,
trust
you
me.
know what I mean?
That's it.
Remember, this video was made 3 years ago by Jaubrey. Friend of the show, Jaubrey made this video 3 years ago. This lady is now currently undergoing criminal proceedings. She's going to go to jail for aggravated child abuse.
best. I'm really excited for Chad.
Again, I don't know what's best for their family. I don't claim to know everything that goes down behind closed doors. In fact, according to her son, he had a great time. Granted, he said this in front of his mother on camera, along with this.
So me deciding that my stomach ache was Chad's fault was not seeing things in truth. I really, really want to blame him. Because I just want to be able to eat my dessert and Oreo cookies without stomach aches. And so,
Then send me off to another wilderness camp again.
So, take that as you will.
Chad, come do a Q&A. Where did you go?
Hasanabi,
And where is that?
Arizona, Hassan National Forest.
Okay, why did you go there?
Because I was a bad boy. I heard this huge buzz behind me, and I looked up and it was a tarantula hawk, which is like in the top 5 most painful
That is weird.
scale. It's on that scale.
Aren't they poisonous too?
Yeah, like that's why they're so painful. Cause they,
Oh.
And it landed on my forearm, and I started crying, and I was in the lonely woods.
Although it was never really specified why he was sent to Hasanabi in the first place, we know of some other behavioral complications that led to further punishment upon returning home. According to a deleted video on the 8 Passengers channel, the now 15-year-old got into some pretty hot water after a series of pranks on his younger brother.
We never told our viewers.
I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland, and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and let Russell. He was like, "What?" And he's all happy as his sunglasses on. And I was like, "We're not going to Disneyland." He started crying and hitting me. And then he went back to bed in tears. And then
So that was.
Bro, see, this is This is like the cycle of pedophilia. Pedophiles will go and do child sex abuse, and then those people will end up also repeating that cycle in some instances. It's like YouTuber begets YouTuber, okay? Mother is a YouTuber, creates a fucking YouTuber in the making. This dude is out here making YouTube videos without actually filming it at this point. Also, by the way, all jokes aside, that is 100%, like, the dude is, that wasn't valid to fucking send him to abuse camp, okay? Like, it's just like a funny little story.
Not the reason you lost your room, but that was...
Well, the other reason is because I pointed a BB gun at his face.
Pointed a BB gun at his face and hung him on the basketball.
Pretty typical if you ask me. I think all siblings are going to pick on each other at one point or another. That's just how siblings are. The pranks me and my sister used to play on each other growing up make some of these look pretty tame by comparison. And in my opinion, lying to your brother about a Disneyland trip and letting him hang from a basketball hoop is entirely less cruel than what Ruby saw fit for punishment.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that. Sleeping on a beanbag.
I'm sleeping on a beanbag.
Like, that's paywalled content, dumbass. He's like, dude, why are you leaking that? That's fucking paywall child abuse. You're not supposed to leak that part of child abuse. Our viewers didn't pay for the privilege. That is supposed to be kept at the Patreon.
I gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Chad showed that he was not able to manage himself.
Okay, you know what's wild though? She posted that. She literally, like, she could have cut that out, posted it instead. You know what I mean? What are you doing?
Sharing a bedroom with Russell.
So when we moved, the bigger room in the basement was automatically his, and I didn't have a room.
It was only revealed in this video from 2020 that the eldest son had been sleeping without a bed since October. For over half a year of his life, this child was forced to sleep on a beanbag chair because he pulled a few distasteful pranks on a sibling. He's 15. I understand when harsher forms of punishment.
That's the thing I don't get. Someone in the chat also said this, like, who the fuck watches this shit? That's the part I don't understand at all. Why is this compelling content? Why is this entertaining? Why are people watching this shit? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. It can't be
There are lots of, you know, guys.
Kids are watching like a horror story. If I'm a kid and I'm watching this, it's like watching a scary movie, dude. It's like, oh my god, imagine how fucked up my mom would be like if she was like this.
They're sometimes justified, but I don't know when it would ever be
so actually what is this?
So a lot of you are like, hey, that's not fair because Chad got the lesser bedroom and Russell got the bigger bedroom. Russell got the big bedroom and Chad got the smaller bedroom, and Russell's bigger bedroom also had a bathroom. But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
Not only is there an ethical issue with this, but think about all the physical side effects that could come from sleeping in a beanbag chair for that long. You're just asking for back pain, spinal issues, and this was right after he got home from that stupid wilderness camp too. So not only did the camp evidently not work, but I guess they figured he didn't need a comfortable place to sleep anymore. Just look at the way Ruby's face changes as soon as he brings it up. It feels like we're not even supposed to know about this. Can't imagine why, of course. She only kept it under wraps for about 7 months. Maybe I'm a little too soft though, right? Maybe I'm insane. I don't know. But to me, you shouldn't be punishing your child so ruthlessly after their trip to a correctional camp. You should probably be rewarding them after such a daunting and distressing experience. But yeah, that's just me.
Gonna start abusing Murat as the audience grows. Gonna start abusing Murat as the audience grows. Brother, Murat is a 30-year-old man. Like, Murat's not a baby. Even if I were to fucking abuse him, okay, on camera,
I don't know the guy.
it's like, you understand that there's a difference, right? Between doing that to your babies versus, like, to a fucking grown-ass adult man who is probably older than most people in this chat.
Maybe I really want my kids to turn out as snowflakes. I don't know.
We need to face challenges. We need to face hardship
Resilient.
and pain to develop resilience and grit, and that's what leads to success in life. If we make things easy on our kids all the time, they're going to grow up to be snowflakes.
Yeah.
And the things that we show and share, and the things that many of you are criticizing and calling abusive,
to come up with themselves, I mean.
professionals have.
Bro, he's svelte, though. Like, the dad's kind of yoked, dude. What's going on? I mean, he's such a weird-looking guy. But he is a bit buff. I'm just gonna fucking point to that a little bit. He's got gyno, man. Everybody's got gyno.
Counseled us to do.
The most worrisome characteristic I find with parents in these situations is they don't seem to have insight.
This
They're
guy.
aware of how they could be causing harm. We see a lot of defensiveness. For example, in a video that Ruby put on Instagram, she said if people were looking at her parenting and being critical, those people might be projecting.
Ruby.
I mean, you verbally abuse your fam on camera daily anyway. There ain't no fucking way. 14-month subscriber. As to do with gyno, it's actually really cathartic to hear you say that. It's a huge source of
It's a
gyno too. Don't worry about it. Everybody's got gyno. You literally abused your mom on cam last week by rubbing it in her face that you were gaming with T-Pain and she wasn't. Yeah, I was flexing. I was like, Mom, hate to do this to you, but I'm flexing on him.
Kevin have a unique way of deflecting any criticism back onto their critics, becoming overly defensive anytime their own parenting skills are brought into question. And although I can kind of understand their frustration, I think it's completely within reason to examine whatever people decide to publicize online. In the case of these channels, they're explicitly picking and choosing what parts of their life to showcase. And assuming these clips reflect reality, it's only natural for uproar to ensue.
I want to go to the grocery store and I want to make dinner tonight. I could go into denigration and say, I'm not a good mom, or I'm not as good as other moms because other moms don't make their kids burn themselves 3 nights in a row, which would be comparison, and I don't know that. Maybe other moms do.
Oh my god, she was so close to the truth, it seems.
Like
right there. No, you were close to the fucking truth, lady. You were close.
Like, I don't know what they do in their homes, but what I do know is that I am unchanging, and
The dad also said he had no idea this was happening. He also hasn't gotten custody back. DCFS currently has custody of the 4 children who are under 18. I don't know if the dad didn't know what the fuck was going on. We just watched him also defend the practices.
I can choose any day now to go.
It feels like watching a conservative conspiracy theorist almost gain class consciousness. I mean, true. Also, she is a conspiracy theorist as well.
Buy more groceries and make a more decent meal, and I can feel centered instead of feeling shameful.
But their parenting is just one piece of the pie. You also have to consider the pros and cons of recording certain events to begin with. For example, it's one thing to discipline your kid in private, but it's another to do it with a camera shoved in their face only to be monetized.
Why did you open this?
in my room. Where is she?
Maybe.
You are not supposed to open your packages.
Is that mine?
You know the rule. We're not supposed to open packages that are on the porch. Only mommy does that. You have a birthday coming up, and now you saw your present.
Sorry, Mom.
Kids can't exactly consent to this kind of coverage, and if it doesn't have enough of an effect on their lives now, think about how all of these clips could potentially be used against them in the future.
There's no privacy. Some have likened it to living in a transparent house, but I think it's actually worse than that. If their house was actually transparent, then people would have to drive by to see in. That would essentially be a passive loss of privacy. But by recording everything and putting it on YouTube, they're engaging in an active destruction of privacy.
But like I said, I'm hardly the first person to take issue with any of this. In fact, one of my friends, Ready to Glare, actually made her own video on this incredible family, along with another creator by the name of Sloan. I'd love to provide clips of their videos in this one, but I'm afraid I can't do that, as both of their videos have been taken down, at the will of, you guessed it, Ruby Frank herself.
No
taken down
fucking shot, bro.
by Hasanabi.
Oh my god, she also no fucking shot. R.I.P. VOD. No. Good luck to her. First of all, this video's been up since 2020. And also, secondly, good luck to her fucking sending a DMCA claim from prison, dog.
It would seem that despite the cruel and unusual punishments so frequently enacted upon
She's
her own
in jail,
kids,
homie.
That's not how DMCA works.
You think that a mother who has written an entire book on parenting would be more secure in her methods than to silence those for speaking out against her actions. But Ruby likes to keep you guessing. You never know what her next move is going to be. In the case of these channels, that move was to issue a cease and desist. But when you have clips like these circulating around, I can't exactly say I blame her for wanting them gone.
What I did was I went around the house, and I had one away. Yes. That's my homework. What? That's my homework. I need that to turn that in tomorrow. No, I'm serious. That's like half my grade right now.
If you have something in the bag that you would like out, you can pay cash for it. So you learn the value of your items.
Family vlogging is still new, so we don't know.
Hey guys,
Okay,
sorry,
I'm
teacher, I know you're not gonna believe me on this, but fucking hear me out, okay? No, the dog did not eat my homework. Hear me out, teach. No, my mom did. What? No, I'm telling you, my mom ate my fucking homework, teacher. Oh, you don't believe me? Guess what? Wait until next week. Wait until next week when my dumbass mom uploads this fucking content onto her fucking YouTube.
The full impact such a lifestyle could have on a developing mind, making it one of the more shameless and potentially risky genres on all of YouTube. If a parent wanted to make their own channel documenting their personal journey of raising a child, sharing advice without said child being involved in the making of those videos, I don't see a problem at all. But when you begin to incorporate children as young as 5 and 6 into your content, they become directly associated with your brand. The kids are literally the selling points of these vlogs, and filming every minuscule moment of your child's life since the day they...
I think the wildest part about this, and I'm seeing some chatters also point to it, is that she didn't actually homeschool her kids. At least up until this point. Because, like, I don't know if it's, like, Mormon school that she's sending her children to in Utah so, like, she can get away with doing this shit, but it's wild that, like, she didn't even try to fucking hide them from the authorities this way.
They burst out of the womb not only puts their own privacy at risk, but could potentially harm their perception of the world as they get older. We've already seen the catastrophic effects fame can have on child stars in Hollywood. So just imagine what that kind of potential could do when you don't even get a break from it in your own home. Imagine having a camera shoved in your face must stifle certain experiences in your life, and for some of these kids, it's literally all they've come to know. And to add insult to injury, child endangerment laws used to protect those in Hollywood from being exploited are not applied to social media on a wider scale, inviting any given parent to just flaunt their child with little to no regulation, begging the question of how far is too far. To me, Ruby Frank is just one of the many parents on YouTube who freely exploit the lives of their loved ones without even a second thought. Her husband directly enabling this vicious cycle by refusing to step in and do anything. Certain channels will happily jeopardize the privacy of their children if it means they can turn a profit and make themselves superstars in the meantime. To me, the blatant stripping of privacy against their child's own will greatly outweighs whatever entertainment value the 8 Passengers channel may carry, underlining the inhumane conditions that come along with exploiting an entire family.
여기다 내는